Hello everyone, it's Backlog Beatnik, back again without any progress. Oh well, now we know that all of our stuff is upgraded. We don't need any outside resources. No gold, no wood, no stone, no experience is necessary to continue. We can't upgrade ourselves any further than what we've already done. And all that's left to do now is simply high score the dungeon. For that purpose, I have all 3 high score potions turned on. That means I'll have to deal with an extra lock at chests. And although it says doors, it doesn't work that way. I don't know why it does. I also have to deal with enemies that are half again as strong, and enemies that hit a third again as hard. However, I have double shields per match and double the max shields. Alright, let's do this. So, anyone that really follows gaming journalism knows that it's kind of a mixed bag. I have never really gone into this subject. I mean, given the youth of the channel, that's kind of to be expected. But a lot of people regard gaming journalism with a lot of suspicion. It's a very skeevy industry. The fact is that most gaming industry most gaming journalism publications, they require ads to stay alive. You know, ad money. People pay for ad space, and that keeps the site going, paying for server fees and all sorts of things. However, the problem stems from the fact that that ad space is just as easily taken away as it is given. So when you're reviewing a game and you know your livelihood depends on the game doing well, or selling a certain amount, or getting a certain review number, you can't really freely review the game. You can't really be honest. It's just not something you can do. You know, there's a conflict of interest there. You smash the game and you lose ad revenue. You praise the game and you gain ad revenue. It's a very, very simple concept. And let's just add to the fact that most game reviewers, once they get big enough, get free copies of the games that they're supposed to review, these review copies. And there's a few reviewers that don't really care about this sort of thing. Namely, ones that aren't actually calling themselves reviewers, people who aren't really part of the game industry. People like Northern Lion, who does Let's Look Ats. Oh crap, a dragon. You know, and what those people generally are very honest with their opinions. And oops, I went back home on accident. And you know, they'll slam a game if it's bad, even if it's a AAA game. Good example is the latest DMC. It's gotten really rave reviews everywhere except amateur reviewers, which is kind of strange. Except the people who know about the game industry and how it works. And I talk about this because there's a specific journalist that I really like. Eric Kane, the Hedge Knight, on Forbes. Yeah, Forbes! You know, that magazine for people who make a lot of money. Yeah, them. He's just a blogger who happens to have articles that are on Forbes. And let's be honest here, gaming is a huge industry. Most certainly big enough to warrant its own part in Forbes. So anyway, this Kane guy. Most people know him from the Mass Effect 3 ending debacle. originally he wrote an article about it that followed the mainstream view, that gamers were entitled and they didn't deserve, to have a voice, etc., etc. But when he received some feedback on it, he reconsidered his opinion, reviewed what he'd said, and came to the conclusion that BioWare was in the wrong. And I really, really praise him for this. It's really hard to state an opinion and be able to, if you fail, if you have an opinion that is misinformed or incorrect, it's very hard to actually sit there and say, oh, I was in the wrong, It's really hard to just admit you were fallacious or stupid or, generally incorrect. So when I see that Eric Kane is currently being slammed on Twitter for the heinous sin of telling people where to get an emulator, it sort of makes me laugh, because I don't know much about the person who's doing it, this Ben guy. And okay, here's the event that occurred. I mean, there was this game that was canned in the Super NES era. I think it's called Nightmare Busters. And what happened was this game kind of sat there and was dead and mostly complete, if I remember correctly. And somehow someone got a hold of the actual code and put it on an emulator and released it, and etc., etc., unofficially. And so, people actually played it, and liked it, and so a gaming company picks it up, sees that this game is has sort of a cult following, right? And so they decided to sell the game for $60 with a poorly coded emulator shell. Not an actual emulator. No, just a really badly coded version of one. So naturally, Eric Kane goes on to say that, it's not really a great idea to buy this because it's not all that great. You should use the emulator instead. And this is where he kind of messes up, because the legality of his advice is sort of in question. Personally, I don't think he's in the wrong. But it's very easy to take the opinion that he is. And you might be right to say that. But what's not right is to say that you want someone's career to be harmed. That's really hurtful and, to be honest, kind of dishonest of that person. And, as this goes on, I was actually watching it unfold, before my very eyes, before I started recording this. As I was watching this unfold, I just couldn't help but laugh at this person who was, so vehemently and angrily, slamming the crap out of Eric Kane. And, it was just... And then somebody asked him, why are you doing this? And the guy said, well, people, get on my case all the time, so, he should be able to feel it too. And, it's just... Some of these people, man. And wow, I spent 10 minutes ranting about this. But, you should really look up Eric Kane on Forbes. He's a very good writer, and in most cases he knows what he's talking about. And when he doesn't, he actually goes and researches it, which is, totally honest, a really awesome thing for for someone to actually do. In this day and age where gaming media in general sort of likes to really put the locks to gamers and mock them and say that their fan bases are entitled and, don't understand anything. It's really nice to see a journalist actually sit there and review what he said and update his articles and sit there and be able to say, I messed up, you know. That's really why he's such an icon on 4chan and why he's so beloved, is because he actually admits when he's at fault. He doesn't think he's always right, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't harp on gamers, you know, for no reason. But enough about that. So I might have hit something of a stumbling block when it comes to this game. I'm not sure if I can continue progress. I'll keep trying though. I think if by day 10 I haven't beaten it, I'll move on. Consider the game beaten. Consider it, you know, pumped of content. So, yeah, I think I'm done for the day with this mess. So that means, let's see, today's day 8. On Thursday, if I haven't beaten it by Thursday, then I will say I am done. Y'all have a nice day.